This is a video tutorial on how to use Blacklich. Blacklich is a tool that I created to help me DM, and the idea is to really facilitate in a lot of the mechanics that a DM has to manage while he's running a campaign. So to access Blacklich, it's just my.blacklich.com. This is the web app, and you'll be presented with this page. You have menu bar at the top of different things that you can do, which I'll show. And then you have a search bar, and the search bar is just search for the monster. So let's do an acolyte, for example. You can type in or scroll through. Here we'll just do type it in, and here you have an acolyte. Everything that's green is something that you can click on to generate a roll. So let's say you're rolling for initiative. The party runs into an acolyte or a group of acolytes. You click here, and then it will roll the die 20 plus 0 in this case because of the 10 dexterity. You can re-roll. Okay, the acolyte has to make a wisdom saving throw. So there you have the wisdom saving throw. You have your other stats. You have your hit points. Skills. So they have +4 on medicine. Here's a die 4 plus a die 20 plus 4, and your experience points, etc. You'll have sections below the stats like actions, typically weapon attacks, and you can click on like this +2 to hit and roll a die 20 plus 2, or this 1 die 4 for bludgeoning damage, or just use these convenient attack buttons. The attack buttons will bring these two things together. And here, great roll, an 18 plus 2 of course makes 20. So here you have what the actual roll was. And then you have the damage also done at the same time. So here you have bludgeoning damage. That was a great roll, 4. And of course, there's no modifier, so that's just 4 points of damage. It could be an advantage attack roll. So in this case, between a 3 and a 15, it uses the 15 plus 2 is 17, and the damage was 2. Oh, maybe it's a disadvantage. Okay, now rolled a 20 and a 13. Well, we're going to be using the 13, and that creates a 15 and the bludgeoning damage of 2. Okay, so in all of the rolls that are done here, or actually any of the rolls up here too, will generate a log, right? So you have the acolyte, the club attack with 15, and it says exactly from the most recent to the latest what those rolls were, right? We rolled a medicine roll here, etc. So you'll have the log there, and you'll have special abilities if the creature has it. And if there's a difficulty class roll, so there'll be a highlight for the difficulty class. In this case, there's a DC 12 on spell saves, +4 to hit on those spell attacks. So you can just roll that right there. And then any of the spells which are open source will be highlighted. So let's say the acolyte's going to cast Sacred Flame, and then you'll have the description, and of course the dice rolls are also highlighted here. So he attacks, target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. Let's say they don't. Well, the damage that was done was 3. Okay, and that will all register here. So there was a die 8 roll, and that ended up as 3. One of the nice ways of using, or one of the kind of the tips and tricks for using Blacklich is to use this new menu item. And this will open up, you'll see how the tab is acolyte. So let's say the party, the adventure is going to have orcs. So we're going to put orc. So you have the orc shows up. If the creature has images, you can click on there, and you can have, you'll have the images if they're available. Let's do a log out. If you're logged out, actually we'll stay logged in. I want to show something about saving. So here you have, again, the same setup that we had before. But let's say you want to buff or create your own modification of a creature. So if you're logged in and you have an account, you just say copy. We're going to call this guy Orc Trooper. We're going to increase his strength to 18. This is a strong guy. And let's move up his dexterity to a 14, and let's make him a little bit stronger on the hit points. We don't need this part. Just we're going to say it's 20 hit points, and we're going to say they have better armor. Let's just give them a 16 armor, and anything else that you want to put in. And then let's say with the great axe, he's going to be hitting harder. So let's put a plus 5 on this, right? And you could, change this to longbow or whatever. If you want to change the order that these things show up, you can have let's say the javelin's going to show up before the great axe. I'm actually going to move that back down, keep the great axe up there. Special abilities. One of the nice things about special abilities, I can do, let's add spellcasting. Let's say this guy has spellcasting. Spellcasting, he can cast Cure Wounds, right? And then let's you can add legendary actions or not, and let's save. Okay, so Orc Trooper is going to be saved, and there we have the 18. Automatically with the +4, the appropriate modifier for that strength rating, and you'll see. Okay, now this is +5. The +5 kicks in, so you'll have the slashing damage of 5 + 5 for the damage or whatever modifiers you've added here. If it was +7 to hit, it would show up as +7 on this roll instead of +5 for the attack. And then I put in spellcasting, and because Cure Wounds is in the system, it'll detect that and give you quick access to the description of Cure Wounds. Okay, and that's really great for spellcasters, for example. So that's one way that you can do an entry, right? Use a existing creature as a template. If you want to share your creation, you can just hit the share button, and this now becomes a share link, right? So if I go to, I can either copy this or here I can open it up, right here, and then actually I'd have to log out. Let me log out to be like somebody else. So you're sharing it with somebody else, and so if you share it to somebody else, your name, your login shows up here as you being the creator of this creature. And okay, so that's for creating and using creatures. Search, the monster search. You do have this access to rules, again, the open source rules. So let's say we need to look up something about weapons, right? I don't remember what the modifier is, or the distances are for a bow attack. So here's some references. Here's longbow. Okay, longbow is 150 feet and 600 feet for the two range. The ranges for that weapon. And so let's close that out. You have a die roller. So the die roller is, it assumes a plus between the die and the modifier. So let's say a die 20. I don't have to do +5. I could. Let's just do that +5, for example, and I roll. And so it rolls, the terrible roll, a 1 +5. Or I could have just done die 20 and a 5, and then we'll assume it's a plus, and then roll it there. You can see if you click it twice, so let's do like 2 die. Let's say it's a 8 die 6, like a fireball, right? So there's my fireball roll, and maybe I can just, maybe it's a 3 die 6 + 2, right? So you can do all sorts of combinations here. You can even create kind of funky dice. I'm going to do a die 2, basically a coin, right? 1 or 2, or a die 3. Do whatever you want here. And there's also the ability to network connect. So you can have shared die rolling, which I'm actually going to show in another video. But I think I covered most of the basic parts. So have fun. This really improves the gaming experience. You're not going to have to be running around looking through reference charts and adding up dice. And this for the the DM is got to run everything else, and the players run themselves. So this really speeds up and maintains the tempo of the game. It's been really helpful to me and to a lot of other DMs. So I hope this is useful to you as well. All right, thanks.